Hey everyone, and welcome back to News to the Science, where we discuss comics, movies, games, and more. And tonight we got a bit to go over. I did mention yesterday's video that I would be talking about some of the features that's going to be accessible, like actually the accessibilities, how more features are going to be introduced. A lot of accessibility features are going to be introduced in Marvel Spider-Man 2. We're going to go over that in just a sec. Before I do that, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, click on the notifications so y'all don't miss anything. And as always, tune in because I do post here frequently. And also, my social media is in the description box below, along with the link to my Discord. Come and join my Discord there, where you can have a good time with a lot of people who are very like-minded individuals like yourselves out there who watch this channel. So if you're into Spider-Man content, Marvel content, even DC content, or hell, if you just want to, just talk with a bunch of people who are just like you, then my Discord is definitely a fun place to be. So without further ado, let's get started with this video. Now, before I do that, just want to give you a bit of a heads up. There is a new start menu that has been revealed recently, and I'm going to show it to you now in just a few seconds. But before I do that, if you consider a start menu to be a spoiler of any kind and you want to go in this blind, then I'm going to give you a few seconds head start to click away from this video. And now that I've given you enough time to click away this video, this is the image I'm talking about right here. This is a start menu that's been revealed by someone who's playing this in Spanish somewhere, probably in South America. I could be wrong because it says pulsa para empezar, and I'm thinking okay, it's got to be Spanish. So I'm thinking man, this is a really good looking menu, and I even posted this on my community in case you guys ever read my community. Maybe some of you are refusing to look at it, but it's not really much of a spoiler. I mean, we already know both Peter Parker and Miles Morales are in the game, so this doesn't really spoil anything. It's nothing too revealing at all. But I presume that they're on the Brooklyn Bridge on the top, just overlooking the whole city, and it's so cool. I just love how the sunlight reflects off their suits, especially Miles Morales' suit. It's so detailed. I love this. This game is going to be a masterpiece, and I cannot wait to play it. So far, nobody has been able to say a single thing about it, not even put out a review because the embargo hasn't lifted. But I'm sure we're going to be hearing a lot of good stuff by the 16th, which I'm really excited about. So now that I got that out of the way, let's go ahead and talk about what we're really here for. And that is Marvel Spider-Man 2 builds on accessibilities in previous titles and introduces new features. And this is coming directly from the PlayStation blog. And I thought it was really cool. There's a lot to cover here, but I'm going to try to give you the fast, Cliff Notes version of this because I know it's a lot. Starting off with the article here, it says, "Hey everyone, I'm Michelle Zarilla, the advanced senior UX researcher at Insomniac Games. With the launch of Marvel Spider-Man 2 just around the corner, our team at Insomniac is excited to share one of the ways we can all be greater together through accessibility. So today, I'd like to highlight some of the notable accessibility features swinging into the game on launch on October 20th. Then I'll pass it over to Sam Schaffel, Insomnia Games' accessibility design researcher, who will provide an update on more features arriving in post-launch updates. And carrying forward our learnings from our recent games, we're implementing useful accessibility features from both earlier titles in Marvel Spider-Man franchise, as well as the Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart. And as with many new titles, we also had to figure out new features to support expanded gameplay systems of our favorite web slingers. And here it is. This is the accessibility menu, well, at least the settings, and you click on, gameplay, controls, camera, what you would expect on the main menu before starting the game. And it's pretty cool. I mean, it says here in the corner, if you can't see it, the menu contains options for modifying overall gameplay settings, such as challenge level, dodge, parrying, timing, chase assist, enhance auto aim, QTE, autocomplete, game speed, and swing assists. This game is expected to have just about everything to help every kind of player out there. Whether you're not really good at swinging or combat or aiming or anything like that, there's an assist for that. And I think it's so neat that Insomniac paid so much attention to that, and they narrowed down everything down to the meticulous level and little detail. And they made sure everything could be modified in every way for every single player out there, because not every player plays the same exact way. And I think that's really neat. Personally, I'm not going to modify or tweak any of those settings. I want to go in myself manually and I want to be able to get used to the controls myself without any kind of assist. So that's what I'm going to decide to do when I get the game. But it's kind of cool to know that, there's a lot of people out there who are expecting to play this game are handicapped, have a disability, probably with motion, and they don't have the coordination that a lot of people do. And I think it's really neat that Insomniac Games is not leaving those people out. And I commend them for that. So that's really awesome that they're doing that. So challenge level modifiers and gameplay assists. High action and exciting combat is the signature of our Marvel Spider-Man franchise. Whether you're going up against Kraven and his hunters or pursuing the lizard through Marvel's New York, we included a variety of challenge levels in our earlier games in the franchise, friendly, amazing, etc. And today we're excited to introduce challenge level modifiers, which lets you customize 3 aspects of gameplay: enemy health, enemy damage, and stealth awareness. With these settings, you can mix and match for your preferences or needs. That is so cool as well. Now, one critique that I did have for the first Marvel Spider-Man game, if you all recall, and I mentioned this a lot several times in my live streams, if you ever managed to catch any of them, is that one thing I did not like about the first game is how during the stealth missions, or at least not stealth missions, during like the missions where you're going to the warehouses for the demons or going to the construction sites for Kingpin, you can actually take down enemies in a stealth manner for a certain amount of time. Like once you take out, like, let's say maybe 5 or 6 enemies, the phases start and automatically they know exactly where you're at, which is then mitigated, I guess, or I guess you can say corrected or focused on in Marvel Spider-Man Miles Morales, where you can actually defeat an entire layer of people in stealth if you wanted to, and nobody would know where you're coming from. That's one thing that I'm glad that they got rid of in Marvel Spider-Man Miles Morales. So going forward, it's going to be like that, where you can actually choose to be stealth if you want to. And I'm like, this is great. They're going in the Batman Arkham Asylum, Arkham Knight, Arkham City approach. And I'm glad that they're doing that, because if Spider-Man truly wanted to, he could be stealth. Maybe not every player wants to be overwhelmed with a barrage of enemies. They don't want to be bombarded with a bunch of enemies just knowing exactly where Spider-Man is. Maybe you just want to hide. Maybe you want to do things quietly. Maybe you want to be peaceful about it. And that's cool too. So I'm glad that they can do that. Just look at this. Enemy damage, amazing. Now, I guess amazing being like a higher level of difficulty, the amount of damage that they do would equate to the amazing difficulty. So meaning that they would deal an amazing, like a good amount of damage to you. I guess you can say an amazing amount of damage, but damage is not amazing. Enemy health is spectacular. So I'm assuming they would have a high level of health. Stealth awareness, friendly. Their awareness will not be as sharp and as high. So you can keep it friendly if you want. And puzzles, you can turn them off or you can simplify them and also, make them hard if you like. Dodge parry, you can default. So I guess it'll automatically do it for you if it's default, or you can do it yourself if it's default. Game speed is 100%, which runs on normal speed, and so on and so forth. You get the point. But I think it's pretty neat that they're doing that. They're also bringing back some gameplay features to help with the combat and traversal, which aim, reduce button inputs, or provide more time to react to many in-game scenarios. Chase Assist is a feature we introduced in Marvel Spider-Man Miles Morales and Marvel Spider-Man Remastered. I didn't really notice that in Marvel Spider-Man Miles Morales. And response to players having difficulty completing the story in the original 2018 release. The feature will also work similarly in Marvel Spider-Man 2, reducing the target's top speed, increasing time windows before escaping, automatically attaching when a target is in range, and readjusting the camera to target when you press R3. We're happy to report these features will also return and work with our swinging and all-new web wings traversal system. QuickTime event, autocomplete, changing repeated buttons, presses from taps to holds, and web shooter bursts, all returning to reduce motor fatigue and keep you in action. Shortcuts and game speed. Speaking of keeping your action, we couldn't have a new Insomniac game without including 2 things our team and the community love: shortcuts and game speed. Our shortcuts will also allow players to assign a variety of options to the left or right D-pad buttons. And if you're having difficulty pressing multiple buttons at once, want a quick way to toggle your high contrast gameplay options on or off, or even want to open photo mode with the press of a single button, you can assign these to the left or right directional buttons for quick use during gameplay. That is so cool. My God. I knew from the moment we saw Marvel Spider-Man 2, like the gameplay and like the trailer and everything, I was thinking to myself, my God, photo mode is going to be so fun. And I do apologize that I have not been doing a lot of photo modes for like the previous games, you guys. But for those of you who are new or recently subscribed, Just know that I do this thing on my channel where like people submit their photos from Marvel Spider-Man photo mode, and I rate them. I basically pick 10 because I think 10 is a decent amount, and I talk about how amazing they are. And you guys do submit some amazing photos. So if you want to do that, it's never too late. People are still doing that on a daily on my Discord. Again, shameful plug in here, but the invitation link to my Discord is down in the description box below if you're interested in submitting some photos to me. Here it is. Some shortcuts. You know I'm definitely going to be modifying this then. So this is actually going to come in handy because I want to be able to toggle the photo mode with a click of a button. I don't want to be able to press I don't want to be able to press start, then look for photo mode, click, and then do everything. No, I want to do it like fast. And that is so cool that you can do that. Anyway, moving on to the next part. Introducing Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart and now featured in Marvel Spider-Man 2. Players can assist game speeds of 70%, 50%, and 30% of the real-time rates of shortcut buttons. These allow you to slow down the action, giving you more time to react to multiple gameplay scenarios. That can be very convenient for photo mode, actually. You can slow down the reactions and the moments. So if you want to capture the perfect photo, this is it right here. So you want more time to react to the surrounding hunter fists fly at your face? Activate game speed. Oh, are you battling against a lizard and need more time between button presses? Game speed can help. Waiting for that picture perfect moment to capture Spider-Man doing an acrobatic swing? You guessed it, game speed got your back. That's really cool. The game speeds can go 70, 50, and 30% in real time. So I guess the slower it is, the more accurate you can capture, like let's say a pose, an acrobatic move, an action sequence, or something like that. And if it's faster, the higher it is, well, it'll be really, really fast, I guess you can say. But the game speed thing will actually be quite handy, and I can't wait to play around with that. This game is giving me a lot to play with. Not only is the map twice as big, not only is the story pretty long, or at least almost the same amount as like the amount of time as the previous games, it's also giving you a lot to play with when it comes to the settings. And I'm really looking forward to that, especially this. So this is going to be a lot of fun, and I know a lot of players out there are going to have a good time with the photo mode. Definitely looking forward to that. The audio frequency controls additional options in our heroes gallery of accessibility features at launch are our audio frequency controls. These will allow players to disable uncomfortable sounds with our high frequency cutoff, like high pitch ringing, low frequency cutoff, like the bass of an explosion, or custom settings with the notch frequency filter so they can better enjoy Pete's classic quips as he thwips back at detonating grenade. That's so cool. This is it right here. So you can filter off some of the frequencies above 6,000 hertz, such as high pitch ringing after explosions, which is really convenient for those who are maybe hearing impaired, or maybe they're sensitive to a lot of high frequencies out there. This is quite convenient. There are just a few features the team is passionate and excited about for the launch of Marvel Spider-Man 2. To see the full list of accessibility features that will be launched, included at the launch, we welcome you to visit Insomniac's knowledge base on this website here. Now, I'm turning this over to Sam Schaffel to share some of the awesome accessibility features coming post-launch. Post-launch accessibility, thanks Michael, or Michelle. So there are quite a bit of accessibility features at launch in Marvel Spider-Man 2 that the team has put together, but we are also working to bring new features after the launch games on October 20th. Some of the highlights include audio descriptions that provide visual context and add a narration style voiceover to cinematics and even QTEs. We feel this feature will be exciting to players who use audio descriptions when experiencing movies or television, and we encourage people who have never experienced it before to try it out and see if it features that works for them. It's often been compared to a high quality audiobook. We are working with our amazing partners as Descriptive Video Works, who have worked on various audio descriptions for television and movies for over 20 years, as well as games like The Last of Us Part 1 to bring this experience to all players in English, French, German, Italian, Castilian, Spanish, Latin American Spanish, and Japanese. Screen Reader will read out several things to aid players in navigating on-screen items such as tutorials, in-game menus such as the settings menu, but also our touchpad menus like the map, abilities, gadgets, collectible suits, moves, lists, and more. We will also have an access to on-demand HUD heads-up display, reading via our Screen Reader status shortcut. Player can also customize Screen Reader readouts by specifying how often text repeats on idle via repeat delay, customization, and scaling. This game has everything for everybody, and I'm glad Insomniac Games did not just disregard the people who are in need of aid. And this is really cool that they did that. It's incredibly wholesome, and I love it. Paired with both controllers, I use my right hand on the DualSense controller and the left hand on the Axis controller to access several buttons on the move stick. One of my favorite features is setting up 2 commands on a single button. I also love having a control profile tied to our 4 abilities, mixing new and classic like the Chan Lighting, Venom Dash, Venom Smash, and Galvanize. Gadgets, including the Web Grabber and L3 plus R3 to activate Mega Venom Blast, which I mapped to the big center of the button. It just feels awesome to execute such a big attack to that input. Thanks to the custom profile system, I can have a unique control profile for Marvel Spider-Man 2 that's dedicated to those simultaneous press buttons, while allowing me to map other features like game speed to the shortcuts in the DualSense controller's left and right directional buttons. We are incredibly proud to continue our accessibility efforts at Insomniac Games and finding ways for more people to experience the games we make. We push towards launch on October 20th, 2023 and beyond, and we'd love to hear your thoughts about the game when you experience it yourself. As always, our community team is listening to your feedback across social media accounts at Insomniac Games. For more information, please stay tuned to our social channels. That is incredibly wholesome, and that's amazing that they're doing this, and I'm glad a lot of these features are going to be available for us to tinker with. No pun intended, actually. But this is so cool. I just wanted to address this and bring it to you folks and let you know what is going on with this game, and that this game is going to have several options for the players out there. And I can only imagine what this game is going to be like once it comes to PC, because not only will we be able to tinker with these settings and customize them to the way we see fit, but also when it's in PC, we'll be able to maximize like the graphics and everything and make this game look the best that it can be. But I'm just thinking about the future. Maybe perhaps that'll be about maybe 2 years down the line that we'll see something like that. But aside from that, guys, I'm excited for Marvel Spider-Man 2. We're only a short 3 weeks away from Marvel Spider-Man 2. I can't wait to play it, guys. It's going to be awesome. And as always, guys, thank you all so much for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and click on the bell notifications so y'all don't miss anything. Dislike the video if you did. And I will see you all in the next comic panel.